Hey, how's it going, everybody? My name is Jason. This is Art of Creation Homestead, and I gotta be honest with you, I'm out of my boots excited. Not literally, but figuratively. We are undertaking a massive project today, and we're gonna bring you guys along, show you what's going on. We've done this before, but not on this scale, okay? We're gonna be doing fruit trees in a container. We're getting a container orchard going. We've already got 4 fruit trees in a container, these massive 70-quart muck buckets. We planted 2 last year, planted 2 the year before. And is that right?
Yes.
Okay, 2 apple trees last year, 2 fig trees the year before. We've got a video on the apple trees. We're going to link that right here. And they're doing outstanding 1 year later. And so we just invested. We got 7 more trees coming, okay, right now in some buckets. And we're going to show you what we got here. So we got these 4 trees are from Rain Tree Nursery, okay?
There's 3 trees there.
3 trees. I'm sorry. There's 3 trees. See? That's why you got 2 brains. The brain behind the camera is far smarter than the brain in front of the camera.
No, that's not true.
So these are 3 trees from Rain Tree Nursery, okay? And
we've never bought from them before.
Yes, it's raining a little bit, but I don't care. Angel's got an umbrella over the camera, so you don't get wet. But other than that, we're good. So we've never bought from Rain Tree. Last year our trees came from Gurney's, which we got trees from them again. But this is what we're doing today from Rain Tree, or right now from Rain Tree. Now, I want to give you, I want to disclaimer this video and this idea. If you're putting trees in muck buckets, they've got to be trees that are designed for containers. Okay, we're putting these in muck buckets, as you can see behind me. Okay, but these trees have to be designed for containers. Okay, Rain Tree, they're called mini dwarfs. Okay, mini dwarfs are for small space gardening, which is what we do here on a small space, correct? So this is small space gardening and container gardening. Mini dwarf gets to be what, 5 feet tall, most of them. The cherry trees are 7 feet.
Yeah.
But they're small. They're meant to be contained, right? Container gardening, small space. So mini dwarfs from Rain Tree. Gurney's, they're called reachables, okay? If you don't buy trees that are labeled for container gardening, you won't get the best results, if any results at all. Or you're gonna get results, just may not be any good. All right, so understand that before we get started, okay? Now, here we have these 3 trees from Rain Tree. So we got bamboo rod, gotta get that out of there. And another thing here, when you're using your knife, don't cut your trees or your fingers. That's a no-no.
They are packaged so
you might need all of those. Okay, but we've got these 3 trees. They packaged them so well, Rain Tree did. I mean, fantastic. And the size trees we got was insane as well. All right, so now we got that tie out of the way, the bamboo rod out of the way. This is the cherry. This is a cherry tree, Lapin's cherry, L-A-P-I-N, Lapin, that's what I would say. So Lapin's cherry there, fantastic. I want you, Angela, get in here and show. They packaged them, wrapped them up super well with some moist newspaper that's going to keep the roots going well. They did such a good job that we've got buds on this cherry tree. But
I can't believe how big these trees are.
But now you see that if you get buds on something, pinch those off. Okay, you don't need that there. Those are a problem. Not a problem, but you don't want it. Okay, so then this is the Pick Z peach. All right, this is a peach tree. Now this peach tree.
Look how thick that is.
Hey, now this is self-pollinating. Is that correct, Angela?
Yes.
This is a self-pollinating peach tree. So you don't need a pollinator for it. Okay. It is very important to make sure that whatever you plant, that you don't need a pollinator for, or if you do need a pollinator, like I don't know if there's an apple tree that don't need a pollinator. Apple trees normally need a pollinator, so you need to get 2 apple trees, or if you have a neighbor that's got apple trees close by, that would help. But you need to get 2 apple trees that blossom at the same time, because apple trees blossom at different periods of time, and you got to have open flowers at the same time on 2 different trees to pollinate each other. Okay, that's very important to do that. So we got the Lapin's cherry here, which is self-pollinating, the Pick Z peach, which is self-pollinating, and this one was what, Angela?
It's a nectarine tree.
It's a nectarine, but I don't see. Oh, here it is. This is a Necta Z nectarine. Okay, Peach Z, Necta Z.
Look at these. Look how thick these trunks
got broke.
are.
That's gonna be okay though, ain't it?
Yeah.
It probably broke when I dropped them just now.
Look how thick these trunks are.
Oh, they did great. They're fantastic.
Very mature trees.
Very mature trees, fantastic. See those buds off there, man. This thing wants to produce fruit now inside that newspaper. All right, so now let's unpackage this and we'll show you how to plant them, okay? All right, we're gonna start. We ain't gonna show you planting all of them, okay? We'll show you the end result. But this is the peach tree. The yellow tag from Raintree here shows you what the rootstock is, okay? Now, and it says it's Lavelle peach rootstock. I'm gonna bring you here because this is important. This is very different than what we've seen on most others. This is the graft point, okay? See, now this is the graft point, which is much higher than any other tree that we've planted.
Normally they're down here.
They're down here, okay? But there's a graft point right here. So it's very important to understand not to plant above the graft point. Now this is different because the graft point's high, so you're not gonna plant this deep, okay? But we'll show you on another one when the graft point's lower. But I always want to plant below the graft, like an inch below the graft point, okay? So this one is obviously gonna be an inch below the graft point. But it's also cool, that means you're gonna have an elevated tree. So you're not gonna have to worry about the problems down here at the bottom. Now, these roots are crazy on this one. Outstanding roots. And I may actually put it in the wrong one for this because I put too much dirt. I've already put dirt in these, okay? And what we've done, these are 70 quart buckets, okay? We got 1.5 cubic foot bags of Miracle-Gro raised bed mix to put on the bottoms, and then we got a good container mix, potting mix, which this one is Sun-Gro Black Gold, okay, potting mix. All right, before we continue planting, let's do this first, okay? These muck buckets, we've put holes in them, okay? This is one we're not using today, but we've drilled holes in the bottom of them, okay? We used a 1/2-inch drill bit and put nearly 20 to 24 holes in them, okay? Each one for proper drainage. You're gonna need proper drainage in order, if you have too much rain or whatever, it allows the water to drain out, and that way your roots aren't sitting in water, okay? But this is what it looks like here, empty, but make sure you drill holes. Like I said, we used a 1/2-inch drill bit to do this. All right, so then, because of the way these roots are, they're so spread out already. Normally you want to spread the roots out. These are already spread out. So you're going to want to put this here. Like I said, we've already put dirt in. We used some of our own compost. We've used half a bag pretty much of Miracle-Gro raised bed mix inside the bottom of each one of these. But you do want to have a good container mix of dirt to go in your containers, right? So potting mix is generally good. We use, like I said, Sun-Gro from Black Gold potting mix, or Miracle-Gro Performance Organics potting mix, container mix, okay? Those are good light mixes to put in your containers. If you don't use good soil, it's going to compact, and then your trees are not going to do any good. So you want to make sure you got a good container mix of dirt for your container planting in any scenario of container mix. There. I'm just going to dump this dirt in here, okay? Now this is going to be really nice. Good level here. We want to let that dirt settle under the roots some because it's missing some dirt in there. You'll make sure good dirt, fill this up, because you also got to remember your dirt's going to settle in these, especially this light potting mix dirt. It's going to settle. So if you go to the top, it's going to come down a good bit over the course of time, okay? So if it looks like you got a little too much dirt, you probably don't. It's okay, you know? And I dumped out some of it. Oh no, that's not good. Don't waste your dirt. I'm terrible for that. Do that. Bring it up. This is a fantastic way to grow in a small space or even an HOA. Okay, you got to remember these thinking HOAs. I'm gonna berate them for just a minute. Not good.
We don't live in an HOA, by the way.
No, we don't live in an HOA. But if you have a small space or an HOA, you know, HOAs dictate everything so much, and they can be frustrating for people who want to try and grow their own food because you're stuck in a bad situation with that, because they want to control what you're doing. Well, there should be no issue putting these trees in a container. Put them on your patio or on your deck or somewhere in your yard in a nice space, like on some pavers. So then you didn't dig in your ground. You didn't plant anything that, you know, like just messing up your yard. You're just growing some trees in a container. Also, if you think you don't want to plant any trees because you may want to move in a few years, put them in a bucket, on a muck bucket, and you can take them with you.
And you've got an established orchard when you get there.
Fruit tree. You got to remember, the time to plant a fruit tree is now, not next year. It's now, because it takes some time to get your fruit from them. So this is an investment. You got to understand that. You can look at this and price all the stuff, price the trees, price the buckets in the dirt, and think, oh, that's too much money. Okay, it is a little bit of money, but it's an investment. If we've learned anything in the past year, it's that we can't depend on somebody else for our food source. Okay, we depend on God and ourselves for our food. God designed this stuff, He provides this stuff, and we grow it. Or He grows it, we're caretakers of it, right? So you depend on that. That's the design. Depend on God and on the design that He created for your food. Okay? Don't depend on the grocery store. Don't depend on somebody's farmer's market and necessarily. But if you got the money, you want to do that, whatever. But if you want to grow your own food, be a little more self-sustainable, I 100% encourage that. That's the way to go. All right? You may not be able to grow it all, but you can grow a lot of it, even in a small space. All right, we got 3 planted. I'm gonna sit on this bucket. All right, we got these 3 planted. You see right here, this is a good one for the graft point, because this has a low graft point. This is the cherry tree, okay? And now, see where we went to. Here's the graft point, okay? Now we went to below it. Now this dirt's gonna settle some, okay? Once this dirt settles, when you water it, it's gonna settle down to about right there probably. And that's totally okay, because you want a good space below the graft point. The reason being, if you get dirt above the graft point, then it's gonna start sprouting from the rootstock. And you're not gonna get what the tree's intended to be. You're gonna get rootstock instead. So you don't want that, okay? Here's the, this one was the, which one was it?
Nectarine.
Peach nectarine. Peach. Nectar Z. Okay, it had a peach stalk. Has a peach stalk.
Yes.
Okay. So this Nectar Z has a peach stalk. Interesting. And this was the peach, and it has the same peach stalk. Very interesting. So the peach and the nectarine have the same rootstock. Very interesting. Here they are. Make sure they're straight. Obviously, they don't have to be perfectly straight, but make sure they're straight. And they're gonna be a little loose because the dirt's loose until they take root. Keep them well watered. Okay. Very important to keep them well watered, because they won't be as strong and won't take root as well without being well watered. So make sure they're well watered. And again, in containers take more water because they'll heat up in the sun, and they will let any extra water go. So like these black ones especially will heat up a lot faster, because black conducts heat, plastic conducts heat, so everything's gonna get hotter inside that dirt. So especially if you're in a drought, make sure they're well watered, and to really establish them well. Okay, so now we've got the trees from Gurney's. Okay, we have 2 apples and 2 nectots, correct? So they are nectots. Nectot is what it sounds like. It's a cross between a nectarine and an apricot. Okay, and so we had 2 of each. They pollinate each other. We needed 2 apples and we needed 2 nectots to pollinate. Okay, so we've got 4 here. Gurney's packs really well as well. Now, one thing Gurney's didn't do that Raintree did do was Raintree put the wet newspaper around the roots. These didn't have that. It's totally okay. But because it was going to be a few days before we started to plant them, Angela damped some paper towels, got some wet paper towels and put it around the roots to keep the roots alive and well. Okay, so that's one thing. If you get them and you can't plant them immediately, make sure you have some moist paper towels around the roots to keep them good and alive. While they're dormant anyways, you need to make sure there's that dampness around them. It really helps. And you start sprouting just a little bit there. That's good. All right, so here is the, these roots are tangled a little bit. That's okay though. Here is the necktop. It's Honey Pearls necktop, okay? Looks really nice. Got a good graft point. You're gonna get about right here. There's the label. We have 2 of those. They look fantastic, by the way. Here's the apple rubinette. Reachable, see? And again, nice graft point. You want to go to right here. I want to show you what we're doing here when we're planting this one. It's something I didn't show on the others, okay? We've got this set. Now, again, here's the graft point. You want to make sure, we're making sure that an inch below the graft point is level with the top of the pot, okay? So put some dirt in here, but this putting mix is so light that you may want to tamp it down some, okay? Tamp this down some, because it's still very light. And that's going to give the roots more to grab onto immediately and give you more stability at the base of the tree, okay? So just tamp it down some, and then we're going to push the rest of the dirt up to about this point right here, all right? All right, guys, bear with me. I got the umbrella over you. Rain just a little bit more than what it was. We just got to keep this camera dry. We're done planting, and I'm trying to contain myself. I'm extraordinarily excited. Let me tell you something. Yes, it's an investment, okay? Absolutely. But we didn't change our today or our tomorrow necessarily, but Lord willing, and the creek don't rise, and we're here 5 years from now, we changed our 5 years from now. All right, that's the big deal. This is about the future. It's not about today. But look at this, folks. This right here. This is about the future. No matter where we are, no matter where we go, no matter where God takes us, we're gonna have these trees. All right, we're gonna have fruit, and we're gonna have these trees. And that's really what it's all about. That no matter what happens, we put ourselves in position to have fruit, to enjoy the fruits of our labor today for years to come. Absolute years to come. It was well worth the investment. I wish we could have done this 5 years ago. We couldn't, but wish we could have, okay? So this is, man, this is what it's all about for us, okay? We jumped in here. God give people wisdom, okay, on how to take rootstock and plant and trees that are already existing. To take those, graft them together, and create one beautiful plant, one beautiful tree that can produce fruit and provide for food inside of the container, okay? It's outstanding. Thank you guys for coming along. Thank you guys for enduring my rants, I guess, and for being there and supporting us. Hey, if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, because if you haven't, you're missing out. We're going to do crazy things in the backyard of our half-acre property. And this year we're stepping up our food growing game so much more, and come along for the ride. Hopefully be inspired and hopefully learn about the God and the creator of life who created this idea that we're taking part in, because he cares for us and he cares for you. Believe that and understand that and know that and walk in that, okay? So we love you guys. Appreciate you watching. My name is Jason. The lovely lady behind the camera is Angela. Art of Creation Homestead. We love you guys. God bless you and goodbye.